Good afternoon to all our viewers. Good afternoon to all of you who are now logging in. Welcome to another session of our Ask UWI, the sessions that the University of the West Indies puts on especially for all of you to ensure that all your questions are answered on all our various programs, because we want to make sure that you are comfortable and certain about our programs before you sign up with us for our September intake, September 2024. And don't forget, our deadline date for all our applications is coming up. It's July 31st. So again, welcome to all of you who are signing in. I'm seeing persons just logging in quickly as we begin our session this afternoon, our Ask UWI session. Again, for those of you who may not be familiar with these sessions, my name is Nataki Kerr. I'm the Brand and Student Recruitment Marketing Manager here at the university, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Ask UWI session. So as you all know, today, we are all about asking UWI about our MSc in Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. Yes, folks, if you have any questions that you're yearning or longing to find out, anything you need to know about what you need to have to sign up for our program, today is the day when our expert panelists will be chatting with you and giving you all the information you need so that we want you to ask questions. We have our Dr. Balfour right there in the background there, waiting to answer your questions in the chat. Our team is ready and willing to answer all questions on our MSc in Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. And again, for those of you all who just joined in, remember our deadline date for all applications for our September 2024 intake is July 31st. So ask your questions now and make sure you apply and sign up, because we would love to have you with us here on our beautiful campus in September 2024. So today I have with me Dr. Marsha Singh, who is our coordinator of our MSc in Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. And I also have with me Mrs. Janelle Yard Blackman, who is a past student and past lecturer in the program. And they are both here this afternoon to give you all the information that you need. So to start us off this evening, and again, welcome to those of you who just joined in, welcome. To start us off this afternoon, I would like to ask Dr. Marsha Singh, who is our coordinator in the program, to give us some information on the courses and what you can expect if you sign up with us to do our course in September 2024.
Sure. Thank you for that introduction. And if you give me a moment to share my screen. Great. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. And as mentioned, I am the program coordinator for the programs offered in Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. And I hope during this presentation, I'm able to address some queries and concerns that you may have regarding the programs. So let's start with, applicants should have a first degree with a minimum GPA of 2.5 or lower second class honors or its equivalent in the following subject areas. So as you see, we accept students with a past science degree or any related field. So we do accept students if you so happen to have a GPA lower than 2.5, a pass, you can still gain entry into the program. You'll just be required to complete some qualifying courses. So the courses are decided upon after review of your application. And after successful completion of these qualifying courses, you can gain direct entry into the postgraduate program of your choice in Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. We do also consider your work experience. There are applicants in the past that has extensive experience in the areas of Agri-Food Safety and Quality Assurance. And during that period, they would have completed some certificates, trainings in food safety and quality standards and so on. And all of these are considered when selecting candidates to enroll in this degree. So our typical academic year consists of 2 semesters, semester 1, which ranges from September to December, and semester 2 from January to May. And just one point to note, we do take in students in both semester 1 and semester 2. So we offer the diploma and the MSc in Agri-Food Safety. And just to highlight some of the differences between the two, they actually share similar courses. So the diploma is composed of 6 taught courses, while the MSc consists of the same courses, 6 taught courses, but you do have an additional course and research project to complete to be awarded the degree. So the diploma can be delivered on a full-time or a part-time basis. On a full-time, you can complete the courses over a 2-semester period, while on a part-time basis over the span of 4 semesters. And this part-time option really does offer some flexibility for working students, because that is usually students who already are in the field and you're doing enroll in the postgraduate degree. It does offer that flexibility. Your work can be demanding, other responsibilities, so you have that ability to manage the course load and ensure your success in these courses. The MSc also can be offered on a full-time basis over the span of 2 semesters. After successful completion of your research project, it can range from 12 months to 15 months maximum. And on a part-time basis, the courses can span over a period of 4 semesters following your research project, so you can take between 24 to 30 months to complete. So let's talk about the breakdown of the diploma. So as mentioned earlier, we can do these programs on a full-time or a part-time basis. On a full-time basis, you will complete it in 1 academic year. The courses offered in semester 1, Agri-Food Safety, Food Quality Assurance and Evaluation of Agri-Food Policies. And in semester 2, you have Project Management in Food and Agriculture, Agri-Food Safety and Risk Analysis, Epidemiology and Foodborne Diseases, and International Trade and Agri-Food Legislation. So this is the course load for a full-time student. On a part-time basis, the course load is a maximum of 2 courses per semester. So you enroll in 2 courses per semester. Course semester 2 offers 4 total. So the students have the choice of, which 2 they would like to complete in the first academic year. Following in the second academic year, of course, semester 1 is free because you would have completed those courses already. And semester 2, you complete the remaining 2 courses in order to be awarded the degree. So let's talk about the MSc program. So as mentioned, the MSc and the diploma share the exact same courses. The main difference is the MSc offers an additional course, which is Research and Statistical Skills for Food and Agriculture. So this course was purposely inserted because to provide support when the student, after successful completion of all the taught courses, they will begin their mandatory research project, and that particular course will provide, that knowledge and support as you navigate your way through the research project. Similar to the diploma, the MSc is offered on a part-time basis where you can, complete it over a 2-year period with a maximum 2 courses per semester. And once again, you have the option of selecting which courses, especially in semester 2, you would like to do until you complete the all your courses. After successful completion of all your taught courses, you will then begin work on your research project. Research projects usually tend to be 1-year duration. So what to expect? One main feature of this particular program, it is offered fully online. I know this is always a pressing question for all interested persons, especially those regional students. I want to reassure you that, all components of this program is fully online, even the assessments, and of course the admissions as well as the registration process is online as well. So there'll be absolutely no reason for you to come to campus if you enroll in this degree. All lectures for this program is delivered via Zoom. So of course, with Zoom, you're able to have recordings, and this becomes very useful, especially for working students. Sometimes, due to your demanding schedule, you may miss a lecture or two. You have the recordings to refer to, so you're able to keep abreast of your lectures. And I actually had a student from Bangladesh recently enroll in the program, and of course, with the time difference, it'd be difficult for him to, attend the lectures at the scheduled time. So, the recordings really does come in useful to, facilitate those students, in different time zones. All the lectures for this program from 5 to 8 p.m. from Monday to Thursdays. And, it caters, it's evening university, it's scheduled after work time. So, you don't need to take time off from work, to attend your classes and so on. And all lecturers in this program come from the UWI academic staff as well as experts in the field, in the food industry. And, our next speaker is also an expert from the field, and they will bring their knowledge and of course their experience during their lecture sessions. So delivery and assessments, as mentioned, all lectures are fully online, they are virtual, and we use the platform My Learning to upload all your course material. All the courses in semester 1 and 2 are fully online and 100% coursework. The coursework will be composed of online assignments as well as an online in-course exam, right? So the weighting is a little bit different. In semester 1, it will be 50-50 as opposed to semester 2, 60% online assignments, 40% in-course exam. So I just want to give a brief overview of, the courses that is covered in this program, and we'll take it semester 1 first. We have Agri-Food Safety, which deals with various principles for inspection systems along the food chain. So we deal with good agricultural practices, good manufacturing practices, and analysis of hazards and critical control points, various food safety standards like ISO, and we also have virtual food microbiology labs. So, you're exposed to that aspect as well in food testing. We also have, of course, food quality assurance and evaluation of agri-food policies. It has two components. You have your food quality assurance that deals with genetically modified organisms, fertilizer use, management systems, as well as virtual labs that deal with quality testing of food. And of course, you have your policy section that will address various aspects of the implementation, evaluation, and agricultural and food public policies. Our research and statistical skill course. So as mentioned, this particular course was designed to provide support MSc program that are entering into the research phase of their degree. So the one aspect will deal with research methods, and the students will be exposed to doing literature reviews, search on the databases, exposed to various research methods of planning and executing their research projects, as well as writing. And of course, you have the statistical component where you will learn various statistical tests that will be used to analyze your data. And you also will be exposed to statistical software where you'll be given training in its use. So let's move on to semester 2 courses. So in semester 2, we have project management in food and agriculture, and this deals with various aspects of, the project management, phase of developing a project, planning, assessing, and of course, overcoming challenges so that you have a successful project. We have agri-food safety and risk analysis, which deals with microbiological and chemical risk assessment, water quality standards, management and communication food systems, food production and processing, to name a few. Epidemiology and foodborne diseases will deal with foodborne diseases that especially impact locally and regionally, and look at the evaluation, analysis, and interpretation of the data. You'll also look at various methods of data collection, such as the surveillance, field studies, etc., as well as learn to deal with various challenges, such as underreporting and describing the disease burden. And finally, we have international trade and agri-food legislation, where you deal with various aspects of the World Trade Organization sanitary and phytosanitary measures, Codex Alimentarius, various standards, the new Food Safety Modernization Act, food bioterrorism, etc. So there are a number of possible career options you can explore, such as food inspector, auditor, food meal supervisor, etc. But our next speaker will provide a little more information on the possible career options. And last but not least, tuition. I know this is other major question that I get, the costing. So our diploma program costs a total of $17,250 TT dollars. And if on a full-time basis, if you're doing it part-time, of course, that cost will be split over a 2-year period. Our MSc program costs $21,850 TT dollars. And of course, once again, the cost will be split over a 2-year period if you're doing it on a part-time basis. I know UWI does offer some payment plans for students. So, that tuition in one semester can be paid in 2 installments. I know once you register, that information will be shared with you on these various payment plan options available. And of course, you have your compulsory fees, which is a one-off payment at the beginning of the semester. So I just want to put a plug here. This program is one of the cheapest programs offered at the University of the West Indies. And finally, if you need to contact us, this is the information. Here we have Mrs. Brenda Bannister. She is the administrative assistant at the Faculty of Food and Agriculture. And of course, there's me. I know my email address will be shared in the chat as well. And those who are in attendance, we will be sure to share this information, the presentation, and the recording as well for your benefits. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. And that was quite comprehensive. So any of us who are attending, and I'm seeing all our participants, I'm seeing Cynthia and Ansa and Katrina, Damien, I'm seeing all who are signed up with us this afternoon. If they have any questions at all after Dr. Singh's comprehensive presentation, you might have 1 or 2 little things you're not too clear of, send us a note in the chat. We are here and we are waiting. We have Ms. Robinson and Dr. Balfour who are waiting to answer your questions. I saw a lot of messages in the chat with regards to links that you could click on to get further information, because we want to make sure that you're clear and that you're comfortable as you are applying for our program in September 2024. And again, for those of you who came in late, welcome to our Ask UWI session. Today, it's all about agri-food safety and quality assurance. And even for those of you who aren't quite sure what program you want to sign up with, check us out on YouTube. We have several other programs that we've done these sessions on, especially in our Faculty of Food and Agriculture. And you could see what else we had an Ask UWI session on, and you could look and see what questions were asked and make sure you make the right choice. But for those of you who are in this industry, it seemed as though this program is for you. And what especially struck me, Dr. Singh, is when you spoke about, the fact that we look at persons who've had a wealth of experience. Yeah. And we also take students in the various semesters too, because, sometimes persons aren't able to sign up in September 2024. So there are also alternative options for any of you who want to join us to especially do this program. So again, make note of the information in the chat so that just in case you think of another question when we are finished, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to hear from you. So before I go to Mrs. Yard Blackman, I'm seeing a question here from Cynthia, who is asking about an age limit for applicants who wish to pursue the course. Is there an age limit? If any one of our panelists would like to take that one.
Sure. Interesting question. First time I've been asked that. No age limit at all. Once you are able to spend those long nights, studying and working on your assignments, there's no age limit for applicants.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that answer, Dr. Singh. And one more question before we introduce Mrs. Yard Blackman. Gwen is asking about the link for the diploma. She is ready to send her documents, so I suggest we put that link up pretty fast before Gwen changes her mind. Gwen, we are happy to have you join us in September 2024. And also take note of our office numbers and our extensions, Gwen, just in case you want to call and reach out to any of us. I'm sure Dr. Singh will be available and her team. We have Dr. Balfour also, so take note of all the information just in case as you're signing up, you need some further assistance. So before I take any more questions, I'm going to introduce Mrs. Yard Blackman, who is here because she's a past lecturer in the program, so she knows all about it. And she also works with some of our graduate students in the food industry. So she has hands-on practical knowledge, which she would like to share with you. Mrs. Yard Blackman.
Thank you very much for having me. It is indeed a pleasure to share with the participants of this webinar today. Without further ado, I'm going to share more on career options within the food industry. And having been in the food industry for over 20 plus years, I want to first touch on some key areas of consideration when determining your career. First of all, participants may be at the entry, middle, or senior level of their career. And what determines your career option may be driven by company of choice, salary, location, maybe local, regional, or international. And many times you may ask the questions, what are they looking for? So I will share with you now some broad categories of where this program can take you. And thereafter, you will then recognize that beyond the category, positions may emerge: supervisor, manager, officer, specialist, you name it. But I want you to focus on the categories I'm going to call for you. And of course, these are all categories within the food industry. And it is important for me to also mention, before I call those categories, in the last 10 years, food safety has been driven on, I want to say, on an international level. And that has trickled down to us here in the Caribbean, helping us to understand it remains a very important career path. And therefore, we have seen many companies locally and regionally joining with those on an international level to comply with food safety so as to protect human health, ensure products meet the safety requirements, ensure there's fair trade, and there is now a demand for persons maybe at the entry, middle, or senior level. So the categories for your career options should include food safety, as in food safety specialist, food safety coordinator, food safety supervisor, a food safety manager. So that's what I am. That's when I said, listen to the category and then you will understand the big breakdown. Then you have quality. Quality could be quality control, quality assurance, quality systems management. Again, maybe manager, supervisor, specialist, depending on the level. You can also consider regulation, maybe Bureau of Standards, Regulations are governed by our international standards codex, the GFSI, Standards Global Food Safety Initiatives, ISO, you name it. You can have a career in standards, just focusing on making sure companies, adopt, develop, and apply those standards to their product, process, and packaging in the way that they should. Training. You can consider careers that are meant to support persons who may be seeking certification. And you have to please bear in mind, in the food industry, it's not just manufacturing. You may have the restaurant industry, you may have food service within the hotel segment. They too will require food safety training. We then have product development, sensory evaluation and analysis, auditing, supply chain, food fraud, food defense, labeling, packaging. Sometimes we tell ourselves food safety is only meant to focus on raw material ingredients, but packaging in itself is also another category that is often overlooked, and there is a demand. Very few persons may venture into that area, but there is a demand for persons who may focus on packaging development, packaging design, packaging in terms of quality control compliance, to name a few. Then we have the agro-processing sector. And of course, agro-processing may range from small SMEs to your large multi-manufacturers who are already exporting products on an international level. They often look for food safety and quality professionals who will apply their knowledge and skill as it pertains to the agro-processing sector. We have the food manufacturers, a wide range. Again, they range in terms of companies, small, medium, large. We have also public health. This is an area that has been emerging as well, and it tends to focus more along the line of the hospital sector, as well as private and public hospital service. It is important to note that food safety and basic hygiene and sanitation, just the application of codex, for example, remains equally important to ensure lives are protected and health is preserved. You have also food technology. Persons may choose to focus on a career that is centered on this process management. And how do you transform a process so that it is more efficient? Waste is mitigated, products are improved, and new products can be established using technology in food manufacturing. And last but not least, I cannot list all that I have and not mention entrepreneurship. You have had students who ventured into this program and also decided to create their own products, launch it in a niche market, focus on agricultural commodities, for example, that are underutilized, and they have been able to make an impact in a small way within the food sector. Having said that, it is important to know when you are pursuing your career option, do not rule out the topic of the type of company, the salaries you're looking for. Many times you may have persons going after the salary and not recognizing if you do not start somewhere, you will not get to that salary you desire. And it is very broad. The program is meant to equip you with the necessary foundation so that you are able to venture into different fields. And therefore, it is important that you define your field. Where do you want to go? Where are you? Which company are you willing to work for? Many companies are the same, but what is important is they may be different in the particular field of study that and career that you are interested in. Salaries will eventually come. I will still mention it because many may ask. At the entry level, I have seen students receive salaries between the ranges of 6,000 to 8,000 TT per month. At the middle level, that's where you have your management, junior managers, they may range from 9,000 to 18,000 a month. And then you have at the very senior level, those are persons who are more involved in transforming organizations, who are involved in major product development, export markets, etc. They have and who have ventured into production management, plant operations, chief operations, general management, those type of positions. They can see salaries between 13 to 35,000 a month and up. Okay, so that covers most of what the careers are. It does not mean I ask to be excused for any that I may have missed, but in general, you have to first define where you would like to be. May I now direct my attention to what the program has done to meet the food industry requirement? And I'll just list a few. The program is well structured to deliver relevant content for various applications. There has been consideration into the needs of the industry, food manufacturing, challenges in food security, understanding international standard requirement, and all of those have been built into the program. The program is driven by policies designed to impact change. So while your classes are set by a syllabus, students are able to use this information and apply doing additional research that will be unique to their existing company or future company, as the case may be. The program supports innovation and critical thinking. You would have heard Dr. Singh mention the virtual labs. And of course, every company will have a practical application that must be there. So the program understands that requirement, and every year there's serious consideration to ensure the labs reflect, real world circumstances that students can learn from. There's also a focus on solutions to industry challenges. When we talk about industry challenges, we are saying from a food safety and agri processing sector, you have to be able to first understand those challenges, apply the theory that you would have learned, but most important, it needs to stay practical, because companies often aspire to be profitable. And we don't want the famous term analysis paralysis. It has to be you analyze with relevant information, you are able to decipher and gain insight into the root cause of the problem, and you are then able to apply solutions that are affordable, effective, could be assessed, and could be implemented and sustained. Okay, so the program took all of these into consideration, and therefore it is endorsed highly for persons who are at any level, entry, middle, or senior level, right? Those who may be now getting into the food industry, or those who are already there, and how they can apply within their work environment. And as I prepare to close, I want to share the experiences I've had with graduates from the program. And Dr. Singh will tell you, whenever the industry is in need of participants in different positions, I turn to the university first, because students often use the term, I cannot get an opportunity, or I cannot get a chance. And the whole reason for turning to the program for participants is really to give students that chance. And then you have those who are already in the industry. You are able to meet, to network, and build a social network that will help you to know others within the industry, so that you are able to have a fair opportunity to be part of that industry. So what have I observed with the participants from the program, and how have they been successful? I must tell you, there's a cycle. I have seen them enter the industry as an intern, sometimes agreeing to do simple projects that may pay not much, sometimes $2,500 a month to as high as possibly $6,000 a month. and they will accept those projects for a period of probably 3 to 6 months. Beyond the internship, they, at the point in time, they may be given an opportunity to start off as a technician. A technician that may take them up to probably $8,000 a month. And they would accept, of course, provided that they are willing to stay within that company. I've seen graduates then move from that technician role to supervisor, officer, junior manager. And as they continue to grow, they exhibit certain qualities that is important for them to survive within the food industry. These qualities include positive attitude towards the job. It is a case of understanding within the program, you will have certain expectations. But then when you enter the food industry, you will realize it may not be as it's written in theory. And therefore, you are required to be proactive. You are required to be assertive. You are required to be technically strong. You must conduct your work based on facts and the relevant research that you would have had to do in order to execute and in order for you to advise. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because when you present a solution, it will be backed by investments, sometimes significant investments. It can run from thousands into the millions, and you have to be as accurate as you can. You need to also take nothing for granted. Check and double check. No assumptions. In this profession, you will gain respect when you are able to solve problems in a manner that is effective and you are able to assess what you have implemented and bring results that will be profitable for a company. You have to also work with much ethics. You cannot view situations whereby a product is compromised or packaging integrity is affected. And just to make sure your shift gets through the day, you stay quiet. No, integrity, ethics, it must be extremely high. And that too contributes to the level of respect that you will gain. We are not saying you will take the approach of, no, you have to stop the production. I am saying you must be able to say, this production must stop, but this is the solution. Okay, so you must have a solution when you are taking action. You must be professional at all times, yet humble. You must be willing to learn. So as I said earlier with the salary, you will start off at one salary. You may be given an additional challenge, and I want to be very specific here. Let's say you may start off as a quality supervisor, or you are a quality supervisor, and you were given an opportunity to hold on as a production manager for a period of 6 months. You cannot use the phrase, that is not my job. It's not in my description. Instead, embrace the opportunity to learn so that you are now gaining insights into another aspect of food safety, processing, quality, and operation, so as to extend your knowledge. And this is what is then considered when opportunities for promotion comes along. You need to understand the business, okay? And understanding the business means whichever company you are focused on, you have to understand, yes, food safety, quality, agro-processing, yes, it's very structured, but you have to understand the business in such a manner that your service brings results. Many times in the food industry, we may have graduates who enter or graduates who are there, and they are not able to be flexible to the changing dynamics of a company. We all would have experienced COVID, and COVID has changed the paradigm on how companies view their markets. And what is important to understand is you have to change with times. You have to be able to change process, products, packaging. You have to be able to do proper assessment with your suppliers. You need to be able to conduct proper audits. You name it. What is important is this field of study while the degree, the diploma program may be the cheapest at the university, I can tell you it is a career path that is significantly important to the survival of food security within a country and nation by extension. Okay, so should you choose to go down that path of entry, middle, or senior level, please choose wisely, define your career path, and as you build your career, you must seek to gain work experience that supports the career. If you are identifying or accepting work experiences that are not aligned to the career, you can see employers not responding to your application because there is the view that you do not have enough experience.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Having said that, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for having me, and I will entertain any questions at this time.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mrs. Yard Blackman. That was quite comprehensive. So if anyone has any questions about career options, what they can do to move their career from point A to point B, I think Mrs. Yard Blackman has aptly demonstrated that she is the person who we could send these questions to. And we have a slew of questions, panelists. One of the questions, and our directors want to Dr. Singh. Adrian was asking about the tuition and if there's any difference in tuition for non-residential applicants.
Yes, there is some variation. I know those regional students will pay in US. So there's a minor difference, but I will be sure to send it to you via email. Will that be okay, the figure?
Yeah, because we should have Adrian's email, but Adrian, just to make sure, send us your email in the chat.
Yes.
Dr. Singh will make sure and answer your question by the end of this week, because I know she's a lady who moves pretty quickly and very thoroughly. So we're going to make sure and answer Adrian's question. We're just going to have to come back to him. And we also have, as I said, a slew of other questions. Cynthia needed more information on the payment plan, because you did mention a payment plan, but I think she also left her email for us so that we'll be able to contact her and give her more information on the payment plan. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else here about it.
Sure. I think it's best I send a link, because I think the bursary does outline the fee pay payment plan. So I'll be sure to send a link to you, Cynthia.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll make sure and again get back to Cynthia, because of course, here's the time and the place for you to ask all your questions with regards to agri-food safety, because you want to make sure that you meet our deadline date of July 31st. Join us in September 2024. So we have another question, which may be slightly off topic, from Satu. He is asking, but that is there a possibility of pursuing the MSc in Agri-Food Safety with a double or minor specialization in human nutrition or dietetic?
Sure, we actually do get quite a number of students from that program. So yes, you are a suitable applicant, and I will suggest you submit your application for the degree.
Oh, great.
For the MSc.
Excellent news. Joyce wants to know, if you don't have CXC Maths and a science subject, but you have a diploma from TTHTI in culinary arts and other CXC subjects, will she have the pre-qualifications needed, or will she need to do something else?
It's hard to make a judgment. Offhand, I don't want to say a hard fast yes or no. It is when you submit your CV and we get to review it thoroughly, then we can advise accordingly.
Okay.
But you do seem like a possible candidate, but I think we do need to have a better review of the CV.
And then too, we also have all the information in the chat. So guys, remember I told you that if you have further questions, even after the session, you may think of something later on or tomorrow, or you may be chatting with a friend, feel free to reach out to us with your specific information, because the answer we may give may not exactly be pertinent to you, but we want to make sure that you get customized information to suit your particular situation. So please reach out to us. Simone is asking, how long do we get to complete the research paper?
So the research project usually are given an initial deadline date of 1 year to complete. But we know the due to the nature of the research project that you may have, extensions are offered to the student based on your progress. So it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years to complete, depending.
Okay. Simone, I think you need to ask your question a different way. The question you were asking about 1 year after registration, I'm not quite clear on what you're asking, and I want to make sure I get you your information. So just ask me another way. And
I think I saw that pop up in the chat. I think they were asking if they could defer the offer.
It's defer. Okay.
Yeah, defer.
Yeah.
So yes, you actually can defer your offer once you're accepted, and it's a maximum of 1 year. After that point, you would have to reapply.
Okay, so hopefully that answers the question. I see Carlos asking a question about he's only getting to apply for undergraduate veterinary science. So I'm not sure if he may need some assistance in terms of applying. So Carlos, again, I think you should reach out to us, and we want to give you specific and undivided attention. So let us know what challenges you're having, and we will be sure to reach out to you. And of course, Cynthia is putting her email here. I think as we were discussing before, panelists, we have a lot of questions, which is great for the program, generating a lot of interest, especially in the presentation that Mrs. Yard Blackman, she made, because people are always interested in how can I use what I've learned in terms of the academic and the practical to help propel my career. And I think we have several persons who are pretty excited about all the opportunities that are available. I have another question. My daughter is a graduate of TTI, and Cynthia just mentioned it to her daughter actually as we are here chatting, and she's very interested. So she sent her daughter's information for us to be able to add her. So Cynthia, we will take note of her information. We are seeing it here so that we'll be able to reach out to her also and answer her questions. And I'm only seeing Mrs. Yard Blackman smiling there because she's just bubbling with enthusiasm, seeing how much interest is being generated here. Let's see what other questions we have. And our team in the background, of course, is providing you with all the information you need. Because remember, today is all about agro-food safety. You want to be involved. You're not sure how to get involved. And this is why we've created this session just for you. Gwen also wants to know about the payment plan information. So we do have Gwen's email address. And Gwen, if you want, just to reiterate, you could make sure and send us your email address in the chat. Although I think we do have it. So when we are sending Cynthia the information, we'll also make sure and reach out to you. And we have another question here. Is it possible to come into the MSc with a BSc in environmental science, or will there be certain courses that need to be taken beforehand?
Yes. That is one of the areas we accept applicants from with a background of a BSc in environmental science. The qualifying courses really depends on your GPA if you would be a candidate for those qualifying courses. But yes, you would be a suitable applicant.
Okay. And Joyce, also make sure and send us your email, your information, your contact information as well, so that we can reach out to you with the payment plan information. So Dr. Singh, we have about 3 or 4 persons who I know you're going to reach out to them afterwards.
Sure.
And, we have Rachel who's asking, how marketable are you in this field with the MSc? I'm trying to understand Rachel's question.
I will put that question out to Mrs. Yard
Blackman. Yeah, she is the career expert. She wants to know how marketable she is with the MSc.
Okay, all right. So with the MSc, I can tell you a major challenge companies have faced is not getting enough professionals in that food safety field. And you're probably saying, yes, but I have my degree and I'm not getting that job. Or I want to do the master's and, how do I get that job? I go back to the point that I would have made. When you define, the first thing you must do is define your career path. It is very broad. And once you define that path, you must pursue experiences that will support the path that you're interested in. So if I were to use an example, as I speak to you, and Dr. Singh will attest to this, I have people constantly asking for persons to fill positions such as food safety coordinator, food safety supervisor, quality officer, and I have run out of people. In fact, I need people for South Trinidad, and it's like, where do you find these people? So really, it's all about define your career path first, understand the business. Which business are you interested in? Understand whether it's going to be North, Central, or South Trinidad. And Trinidad is not that big. So if you're living in South, you can go to the North and vice versa. And of course, in terms of how do you position yourself, if you have to be the selected candidate, and they are looking for about, let's say, 2 years experience or 1 year, you have to ace your interview if you had no work experience before. You must ace your interview if you had no work experience before. And if you had work experience before, the work experience, you need to show how that work experience contributed to your knowledge and skill in the field of agri-food safety and any related food technology, food scientists, process management. You have to demonstrate how those experiences aided you. So you might have been looking for the exact position, quality management, but you can actually qualify for production manager and you don't know. Understand? So pay attention to the scope of the job, pay attention to what they're asking for, because many production managers, for example, are now asking you to have a good background in food safety, quality. Some of them specify agro-processing, regulations, and it is there. So you have to open your mind as to where you would like to go. I can tell you beyond Trinidad and Tobago, there's not enough professionals in this field.
And that's good news for our prospects here who are interested. So I hope that answers that question very, very adequately. We have Sherelle who is asking about the MSc program. Is it that, Dr. Singh, this one is for you. Is it in year one, you do the courses, and in year two, you do the research? Is that how it flows?
Yes, so for the MSc, if you're doing it on a full-time basis, the first year you will complete all your taught courses, and after successful completion of all your taught courses at the beginning of year two, you can register for the research project. So as mentioned, the research project initially, you'll be given a deadline date of 1 year to complete, and extensions can be given based on your progress.
Okay. And we have another question. Is it possible to enter the MSc with a BSc in food science and technology from UTT, or will I need to do bridging courses to kind of?
Yes, you are a suitable candidate. You do not require qualifying courses. So we do accept students with a past degree, and quite a bit of our students do come from UTT.
Okay, great. And I see Carlos is being very thankful that he's getting all the information he needs to get. And Carlos, remember, we do look at experience also in terms of persons who want to do the program. So, make sure and keep that in mind. And Rachel is saying, and I know that Dr. Mrs. Yad Blackman will take a note of this. Rachel was quite interested in what you were saying, because she was saying she has a degree in food science and it's hard to get a job. But Rachel, I think if you listen to what Mrs. Yad Blackman was saying, you just need to define exactly what path you want to develop it, because it's so broad and so wide. So you have to define where you need to be and get experience in that area. Mrs. Yad Blackman, how do I sound?
You are on point.
Right. And then make sure and get experience in that particular area. So I think if that is something you haven't been doing, I think you should take her advice and try and work it like that. Yeah. Let's see what other questions we have here. Joyce is from the South. She just wanted to let us know in terms of information. I'm seeing a lot of emails we're getting here because everybody wants us to contact them. So Dr. Singh and Mrs. Yad Blackman, this is an excellent sign. So I know you were saying that we're looking for people in various careers. I think you shouldn't be able to say that in the next couple of years if all goes well with this group we have here, because everybody is quite excited about the information that's been shared. you know, and I think it's been great information. It's been very, very comprehensive. Let me just see if we have any other questions here.
May I add a point?
Sure.
The fact that the program is online is ideal because it allows for persons to accept opportunities that exist now and pursue their studies online. 5 to 8 is what the time I would have heard. I mean, that is excellent. The industry will
Yeah.
welcome that.
Yeah, I think many people will welcome that, and that's an excellent point. So folks, we just have a minute or two before we close off our session, but again, we are happy that you all were here with us this afternoon. You took the time out, you know, of your busy schedules to listen to what Dr. Singh and Mrs. Yard Blackman had to say. Again, we have all your information because once you registered, we were able to capture your information. We'll be sending you our office numbers. We'll be sending you links to various bits of information that you all might need, because again, we really don't want you to miss our deadline date for applications. It is July 31st, so you have just 4 short weeks again. So we want to make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. I see Venetia is asking about the cost of the MSc Food Safety Program. She probably came in a little bit late. Dr. Singh, you'd just like to repeat that for Venetia, the cost of the MSc Food Safety Program.
Sure, it's I believe it's 21,800. $850, so $21,000 for the
Okay,
entire program.
extremely reasonable in terms of
Very
just
affordable.
getting a postgraduate education in an esteemed place like you. Yes, Dr. Singh?
Yes, I just wanted to make one point as well. So if, for instance, you enroll in the diploma and, you know, after completing your 12 courses, you wish to upgrade to the MSc, you have that option.
Okay.
Also, if you have enrolled in the MSc and, you know, for some reason or the other, there's some challenges with completing your research project, you know, life happens. You still have something to show for it because you still could be awarded the diploma. So I just wanted to make that point.
That's an excellent point. So you do have options. Yes, Mrs. Yard Blackman is nodding. You do have options. And Joyce is even saying that she's very happy that the program is online and she has over 20 years experience in the culinary field. So Joyce, you sound as if you're very primed to sign up with us. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the response. And folks, make sure and take note of all the links, because Dr. Balk was in the background there. I'm quite sure her fingers are hurting because she's typing furiously to make sure that you all get all the information that you all need. And we're getting some compliments, panelists. We're getting a lot of compliments here on the side. You're very welcome, Cynthia. We're very welcome, and we're happy to do this because we're always happy to share what we know about our university and to make sure that, you know, everybody makes the right choices and you have all the information that you need to do so. So it's about that time. We're going to close off. We thank you all so much for attending. We will be reaching out to you and you reach out to us. Let it be a two-way relationship. We want to hear from you. You can visit us on campus. And for those of you who aren't in the country, we are happy to receive information from you. You have Dr. Singh's email. You have everyone's contact information. Reach out to us. We will be reaching out to you. And thank you again for attending our session at Ask UWI, anything at all on agro-food safety.